Would you think of Alontae Taylor's start last week?
It was a positive experience for him, for the entire organization. Good to get him back out there and healthy, and just watch him compete. He's an ultra competitor. Um, Loved his technique. Um, again, had a missed tackle out there, right? That we want better, but yeah, he's got great confidence. Real good boost for our team.
Is that something you kind of identified in him very early on, like that trait where he's kind of comfortable going up against a guy like Hopkins or
Yeah,
whoever else is kind of across him?
yeah, no question. Right, again, uber confident. Really aggressive in coverage. Coverage intensity is there, and he doesn't back down from anyone.
Hey, Chris, DA probably didn't make a big deal about it, but what's it like just for a coach when you're going up against a team that you used to work for? I know you had a chance to do it with Seattle and
Sure.
different teams, but what's it sort of like?
Another day at the office. It really is, right? Because it's never about any other particular place, right? It's like it's always just going to be about where you are and the people that you're doing it with, and that's where the magic is made. And again, the second that you become distracted by where I used to be, or it's a grudge, or anything of that nature, again, you've got heart issues, right? Like they're not even thinking about you, so why are you thinking about it?
Coach, you don't often see a running back in his fourth year break out. That's what Josh Jacobs is doing right now.
Sure.
Just talk about the ability to stop a player who's playing really good football.
Sure, no doubt. Well, I'm going to argue that thought right there and say like this guy's been a real good back all 4 years, right? That he's been in the NFL, and again, he's got really good contact balance, an aggressive runner, compact and powerful style, right? Again, runs behind his pads, right? So yeah, it's going to be a challenge, no question about it, right? And again, our guys are up to it. And we know again we got to get his cleats out the grass, get all 11 to the ball, and got to make sure we are wrapping his legs up, and that way he'll be less effective.
And is there something to be said of playing a team with a talent like Devontae Adams at receiver, but kind of knowing that he is still in his first year with that team?
Well, not well. I think you can kind of lean on the fact that like the history has been there between the quarterback and the receiver. But that is not a concern outside of the fact that yeah, we know we have an opponent who's been really good in this league for a long time, right? Again, the quarterback has been effective in this league for a long time, but he's not the only guy that's out there, right? Again, Waller, again, we're sure he'll probably be coming back, and I'm sure he's practicing again this week. And Renfro is out there, right? And they got guys that can play. So, again, we know what we have ahead of us, and we just know we need to get out there, play with proper technique and discipline, and challenge every play.
When you guys have something like missed tackles that you're trying to work on, like what is the process coaching wise of fixing that and getting it cleaned up?
It's poise at the point of attack, right? Like no one goes out there and wants to miss, but it's really about mindset. Because if we get to the moment of truth and our thought process is don't miss, well, what'd you just tell yourself? I hear myself say don't miss. Well, I hear miss, right? So it's about being poised at the moment, right? And then let that self-talk be make it, make this, because these are the thousands of reps that we've taken out here in practice every single day. Again, the drill and things of that nature. It's just in the moment, in the heat of the moment, we can't allow that moment to kind of outweigh what we drill and how we do it, and just staying true. And that's really what it is. So when you get to that moment of truth, stay poised, speak to yourself, make it.
I mean, these guys can all obviously tackle. So like when something like that gets away a little bit, like what's the cause of it maybe becoming a little
More
bit
times than not, it's technique, right? Because it's not over aggression. Or you can look at a guy and go, oh, he was over aggressive and he over pursued. Well, there's no such thing. You always want to be aggressive and pursue. It's at that moment of truth, right? It's like how we're doing it. So just make sure we're taking the proper angle, we're keeping our eyes in the proper spot, and we're keeping proper leverage on the football, and then we can be as aggressive as we want to.
We've kind of heard a lot this week about players wanting to kind of rediscover swagger, whatever the edge that they've kind of had in recent years here. From your experience, how important is that, especially in a defensive, in a defensive mindset?
Well, it's always important, and I don't know anyone on this team that has lost their swagger. But I absolutely understand again what's being said. Like it's more of right. There's a lot of opportunities in life to where like you get to show your true character, right? Again, one of them is when no one's looking or you're by yourself, or at least you think no one's looking, right? Who are you and what you do? The other one is when everybody's looking, and then you face a little adversity. That is when your true character is going to show. It's not when everything is going your way. It's when things aren't going your way. Who are we then? You know, so again, so staying true to who we are is really the key. And we have guys. This is a team that has been historically, we have swagger, right? We just have to go out there and execute. Not press, play with poise, execute, and capture our moments.
Do you want to just with Bradley Roby headed to injured reserve? Obviously, the slot is a spot that might see a new face or has to be kind of filled in this week. When you look at that, is there a specific player that you feel like slides in there, or is there maybe a different player based upon different situations kind of approach?
Well, Chris Harris has come in. He's essentially getting filled in that role, right? Again, Bradley's been outside and inside, and Chris has essentially had to do the same, right? And again, last game per se, it was a bit of a committee, right? Again, in between Bryce and we have Justin, all right, that can go out there and get that job done. But like as we continue to get our guys back and we get them healthy, right? Again, we'll be able to figure that out. So that's something that's not set in stone. We're gonna keep that secret either way, right? So we're not gonna give away trade secrets here. So.
With having a guy like Chris Harris on the roster, I mean, this is a guy that kind of revolutionized how we talk about the slot cornerback role in the NFL. How important is he to that role in terms of the younger guys in the locker room, kind of teaching that, all of that?
Yeah, it's his level of preparation, right, and his willingness to pay attention, right? Like I said, we all have the capacity to learn, right? Again, but who is willing to sit in there and pay attention? So he's an intelligent player, picks up things very quickly, all right? And then not only is he able to learn it, but he's also able to apply it to the game, and that's why he's been able to be successful. So he sees his pre-snap indicators, he has his clues, he knows his leverage, and then he has really good short area burst and quickness, right? And so, again, good tackler, tenacious defender in coverage, right? Again, you'll hear that word, coverage intensity. That's why he's been able to be really successful throughout his life.
This probably falls under trade secrets too, but have either Paulson Adebo or Alante Taylor worked enough in the slot that's an option for either one of those guys?
That is trade secret. We can tell you, right? We can tell you, but there will be a knock at your door.
Come on, man.
Right?
We're trying to double up.
That's what you, late at night, right? All of a sudden, I didn't invite anybody over. That's what we don't want for you. So
I appreciate you looking out for me.
absolutely.